Hello, and welcome back to Town Talk, the official podcast of Summerville, South Carolina, where we bring you the latest stories and talk with some of the heroes here at town. And I'm super excited that today I was able to finally get Chief Melcher in for the podcast. How are you doing today, Chief?
Great. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, of course. I've been kind of really excited to bring you onto the podcast, but I wanted you to have kind of your time to get used to your role, and before I really kind of put you in front of the camera.
It's all good. Yeah.
I know you joked about, today's sponsor. I'm just kidding, but let's start at the beginning.
Sure.
Right. Let's start. I know you came here at 2000 is when you started here.
Yes, sir. October of 2000.
Okay. So tell me about what led you here to the town of Summerville and your story from the beginning.
Okay, so I actually grew up here out in Ridgeville, went to Summerville High School.
Okay.
Out of high school, I really didn't know what I wanted to do, honestly. Started going to tech, taking some college courses and things like that, and working a part-time job. I did work in a big factory at one time, and I knew that wasn't what I was wanting to do. My parents wanted me to do that just so I could get a taste of what they were going through.
Yeah.
So a friend of mine reached out and said that he was a firefighter with another department, and he said that he thought that I had something to offer, and I really didn't know what he understood. I really didn't understand what he was trying to say, but basically he was saying that I have a heart to do this, and so I saw that there was an opening here in Summerville. I applied. I didn't get the job the first time around. They were actually currently full, but the application process was open. But 2 weeks later, there was a spot open, and they asked me if I was interested, and that's pretty much history. They offered me the job, and I've been here for the 23 years. And actually, my anniversary date is the 18th. So the 18th
it's coming up.
It'll be next week. So
how many years would that be?
That'll be May 23.
Okay.
23 years.
Oh, wow. That's so exciting.
It is. It goes by fast. With a job like this, it really goes by fast.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like you try to think back at, certain times, and, you lose track of time over the years because it's a lot, but it always seems like yesterday.
It's because every day is just probably different within this role.
It is completely different, and not necessarily with this role, but even as a firefighter, you see different things throughout the day. So, yeah.
When you started, did you ever envision yourself becoming a fire chief?
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. No, it's one of those things where there's everyone has their pathways in life, and it may have not been a predetermined path for me, but I'm not in this position for me. I did this. I'm doing this for our department. I'm doing it for the citizens, and that's how I look at things. I don't do anything for myself. Well, once you become I would say a captain's level or an officer's level, you no longer do things for yourself. It's always for the betterment of someone else, and I always try to encourage people to get to those leadership roles, and it would be hard for me to not accept a higher leadership role and I'm trying to convince someone to step up, and when someone was telling me to step up, so it's rewarding. I love the position. It is a complete different position than what I was envisioning, but I love it. I love a challenge. I told Chief Waring that, and back when I was battalion chief, I said I want the worst stuff on the first day. That's just I want to be able to get the experience as fast as I can, and this one is definitely challenging, but it's not overwhelming. It's just there are things that you just have to learn along the way. And you can't teach someone everything about this position in the department, because you have to learn the way the town works. You have to the fire side, but just the little things with the town that that you're not used to doing because you had a fire chief before.
Yep.
So it's a little different, but it's still very, very rewarding when you see the guys perform well. It's great.
I can see just talking to you the ambition. You still have that ambition after all these years, and it's awesome to see because there's no better way to learn a role than just jumping right into it, right? And just learning from mistakes, because everyone makes mistakes, but in this type of role, especially in the fire and public safety, mistakes almost can't happen, right?
Right. It's not like we encourage mistakes. We encourage everyone to learn from their mistakes.
Yeah.
And it's something that we call out to each other on. It's if we see a mistake, we know that, because of our job and what we do, we have to address those mistakes. Even if it was just a lack of judgment, you don't have to per se beat someone up over it, but it's a learning process for everybody. You don't want to make these critical mistakes, and you start at the smallest level and then progress from there. And if you stop the little mistakes from happening, everything else is going to usually work out when the big stuff happens. So, but it is good. We have a very, very progressive department, and the guys challenge me all the time. It's just keeping up with new stuff all the time. It's really good. I mean, I love to see the energy on the floor. Yeah. And that's what inspires me, because, I kind of have to bring my own, Chief Melcher used to say it all the time, I used to have to bring my own morale to the game. And, but these men and women here inspire me each and every day. It's like I see the look on their face, and then when they get to go to work, when I say work, and they go to the calls, they're in training, they're so engaged that it's inspiring for sure.
That's awesome. It's that team, value that you have here, the family. It's like a family value.
It is a family, very family oriented, and it almost has to be. If it wasn't, then we wouldn't be as cohesive as we are now. Mm-hmm. And just like any other family, there's you bicker with your brothers and sisters, but you still love them at the end of the day. Yep. And I think that's what sets public safety aside from anyone else, is no one gets us but us. Mm-hmm. We understand each other. And just like the PD, they understand each other, and we can understand some of what they their mindset or whatever, but deep-rooted stuff like, coming together and everything, everyone has their own kind of culture. Yeah. And it is different. Police and fire are completely different, but at the same time, the brotherhood is still the same among the men and women of the organization. Yeah.
Awesome. I know there's a lesson here that I kind of want to dig in for our listeners, a leadership lesson, and I want to kind of get your thoughts on it. Now, you just listening, you could talk about managing everyone as a leader, keeping that morale up. What is a leadership lesson you would provide anyone, even if it's our firefighters listening or just residents listening to this podcast? What is a lesson that you would give them to keep everyone engaged as a whole and keep morale up in a group setting?
Honestly, be nice and respectful. I mean, really, that goes a very long way. It's just to be kind and respect each other. We can have a difference of agreement, and that's where we've changed over the years. Is in the past, as a department, you would have a difference of opinion with somebody, and then that just immediately, you don't like that person. Nowadays, we're able to have discussions of opposing ideas, and at the end, after the conversation is over, we're still best friends. Yep. So you don't have to, just because you disagree on something doesn't mean that you have to dislike them as well. And I always thought that it's harder to go through life disliking someone than it is to like them. Because when you dislike someone, and the guys watching probably have heard me say this before, it takes more energy to dislike somebody than it does to like them. Imagine yourself in a grocery store, you see someone that you don't really care for, you're going to work to avoid them. Whether it be, and now we're working harder to get away from them and to avoid, the interaction, when all you can do, the best thing to do is just go up and say hi. Yeah. And then talk and ask how they're doing. You could actually inspire them that day. They could be going through some stuff, and you just by coming up and saying hi could really change the outcome of their day. And that's what we do here at the fire department. Someone is calling 911 because they need help. And the only ones that can help them are us. Mm-hmm. So, and not to get spiritual, but a lot of these calls that we go on, someone has said a prayer before we got there that we would come as the fire department. So that means a lot to me. That really does. And that kind of mentality and everything is throughout the men and women of the department. When the tones drop and we get on the calls, we are there 110%. And because that's what we do. And it's not a job for us. It's more of a, you could call it a calling or whatever, but it's definitely not just a job. It's that you want to serve the public in the best way you can, and that's why we're always trying to progress. Because we want everything. We want to be able to give the citizens of the town the best possible service. I mean, and we're always going to chase that. We're always going to chase that. We're never going to get in a rut. And if we do, we're going to call each other out and say, hey, we need to step it up, and it's not just me. I have a wonderful team of people that manage different areas. And if it wasn't for them, there's no way I could do it. I really couldn't. I don't even know if I would have accepted this position if it wasn't for the team that we have in place. And that's how strong I feel about them. They're wonderful. They're phenomenal. I would compare them to any other organization.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that's incredible, and I think that's powerful. And I think leading with kindness, leading with love, right?
Yes, sir.
And a love for not only your family, your work family, right? But love for the community,
right?
And that here at the fire department, it's easy to see that everyone has that love for the community, for their men and women that they go to work with every day.
Right, absolutely. I mean, it's what drives us every day.
Yeah.
If we come in a bad mood, we don't carry that bad mood to the call. We can't do that, you know. So it's like we have to suck it up and get out there and do our very best. We're all still human, and we all still go through things, but that's where our family here comes in addition to the support we get from outside of here. Our family is at home. So it's very important that we're, the family. I can't preach the family atmosphere more, because we have to be a really tight, cohesive unit. We have to know how we can look at someone and tell how they're feeling, or what kind of day someone's having. And you have two choices. You can leave them alone, or you can ask them how they're doing. And depending on the person, it depends on how which one you choose. But yeah, we're always here for each other. We really are. So.
I love that. And let's dig into the team a little bit. I know you. And correct me if I'm wrong, you have 114 firefighters currently. That's impressive, right? Is it 114?
I was the 50th person in the department. So
the 50th. So it has grown from 50 from when you started in 2000 to 114.
Yeah, when I started, I was the 50th person, and then now we're up to 114. So,
wow, that's impressive.
Yeah.
And is that just thanks due to the growth of our area? What was that too?
I would say so. Yeah, the expansion of the area. We're already looking at another additional station with the growth that's coming. So yeah, it's necessary. The bigger we get, the bigger we have to get.
Yep.
It's just. We have a lot of guys, a lot of men and women that wear several hats in the department, and as well throughout the town. We have several hats that we have to wear. There are larger organizations that just we have a person for this. So it's like they have more managerial positions, and here we have to, and we're used to it. We're used to managing different hats and stuff. So that occasionally we're able to add a new position in there, which is good. It's phenomenal. We were able to add a position a couple years ago, which was incredible. I mean, that position alone has really helped out our department in a positive way. So
that's awesome. So the growth of the team here is thanks just to the growth of the town, being able to provide ample service to our community, and having enough people. Now, what goes behind that, right? What drives people to come here to the town of Summerville or Summerville Fire and Rescue for their employment? I mean, obviously you and me, we're Team Summerville, but anyone listening outside, what's something that you would give that is just special about here? I mean, obviously the family aspect is number one, I would say, but if you can dig into that a little bit more.
We do an awful lot with a little bit of stuff. I mean, it's just, we're able to, and I say this because it's our department, but I would compare our department to a big city department any day around here as far as performance wise. And, you know, we can't keep up with some of the other stuff because of the budgeting restraints or whatever.
Of course.
But as far as how we operate, you wouldn't be able to see a difference in us and then a big city department. Our culture is so strong into each member wanting to get 1% better every single day. And I see that constantly. It's not, you know, we're always trying to sharpen the tools and get better. And everyone seems hungry. You know, they want to come here. And when we do get guys that come here, like we have a fast track that's going on right now. You can tell that they're 100% engaged into the program. And, you know, we train really hard. Our recruit schools are pretty tough. Yeah. But we're preparing them for their first day, which could also be their worst day. So we have to make sure that they're up to speed, at least to be able to ride the truck that day and be a functional member of that company. So that's where our culture is deep into training and family and looking out for each other.
You know, Chief, I didn't even think about it like that, but, you know, your training is so important because usually every role is important, but you know, in an office role, your first week, you're figuring out your calendar. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like when I came in, I was just making sure I had all the passwords to everything, making sure I was logged into everything. But the first day for a firefighter could be their worst day.
Could be. It really could.
That's deep.
You know, you can't plan for any of it. And I think that's what's so exciting about the job is that you're in the back of your mind, you're constantly on alert for the worst thing possible coming, you know, but yet you continue to go on about your day, you're training, you're cleaning, whatever it is that you're doing. But that's always in the back of your head. Every time our dispatch says stand by for tones or stand by for such and such call, that we instantly go on alert. And it's, you know, we're just anticipating, you know, helping the public is really what it comes down to. And like I said, your first day could be your worst day. It really could. We've had some guys who had just gotten out of recruit school. They're like, yes, I can conquer the world, you know. And then the first couple shifts, and they're like, wow, this is why you guys train so hard. You know, it's because of this. And our training department is amazing. I would pale in comparison to some of the other ones, the other agencies. These guys give 110% all the time. They are constantly bettering themselves so they can go back and teach everybody else what they know. They don't do this for themselves. They do it for who they teach and for our department and for our citizens.
The 1%.
The 1%. You constantly, even myself, you have to get better every single day. Mm-hmm. Like there's something that you have to do to inch yourself forward every single day. You don't have to. You know, and the reason for the one, you know, people ask me why just the 1%. I was like, because if you get 5 today, you could go back and say, well, I don't need to push so hard today. I'll just give like 1 today, or you know, I'm not going to give anything today because I did 5 yesterday. You know, if it's always 1% every day, you know, it's always progress. Yeah, it's always progress.
I love that. And I want to circle back a little bit just for our listeners so they can better understand. You brought up the fast track program and we talked a little bit about training. Mm-hmm. Can you dig into what the fast track program is and then also a little deeper into the training that our firefighters have to go through before their first shift?
Absolutely. So our fast track program is more of they're the certified firefighters that we get either from other agencies or they move in from another area, and they're looking for it to be continue their career as a firefighter. So it's a shorter version of the class. It's only a 6 to 8 week class, and these are, like I said, these are already certified firefighters. They come in. They arrive at 6:45 in the mornings, and they immediately go into physical training, PT, for about 45 minutes to an hour. And then after that, it's whatever the day holds. Their first week, they were in our car seat program class.
Yep.
And then now it's all hands-on from here on out. So basically, if they've developed bad habits from before or they're a little rusty in some areas, we polish that up. Over the course of time through repetition and training, the way that we do things here. And like I said, going back to earlier, we are a pretty progressive department, and we ensure that, we make sure that the guys coming in, take care of those bad habits, and we polish them up really good. So I think I already said that, but yeah, they go through quite a bit. I mean, it's pretty intense.
Just putting them in situations so they're prepared for anything that they could see on the call.
As much as we can, yeah.
Because you can't really replicate a call like in training.
You can
get close, right?
Yeah. You can get close. You can kind of go through the motions, but nothing can compare to the actual physical emotion that you feel when you're at a call. That
motion, I get it.
It's like there's nothing that replicates that. And the only thing that kind of like over time is that you get experience.
Yeah.
And you're kind of teaching your body how to deal with this emotion. But it's still, you still feel it. Mm-hmm. You still, it's depending on the call, you still feel it. And it does still have an impact on you. So it's just experience what kind of helps you deal with it. But, like I said, you still feel the impact of the call, regardless of what it is. So
and that's why it's just so important, that training and making sure everyone kind of goes through it, even when they're already certified firefighters, going through that training again, that fast track. That's really awesome that we do that. Do most departments, other agencies do that, or is that kind of just...
Most of the larger departments, like North Charleston, the city of Charleston, and then you have Mount Pleasant. They all do little fast track programs as well. And
it's a unique program. I like that.
It is. It gives someone an opportunity who feels maybe stuck in another organization or they want to try something new. It gives them an opportunity to kind of come over, and we started them as a firefighter, as a probationary firefighter. So but yeah, we've had great success over the years with our recruit schools and our fast track program for sure.
Now, to wrap up, kind of talking about our recruits or people coming and working here for Summerville Fire and Rescue. What are some of the benefits that our firefighters get when they join the team?
I would say exposure to outside training is probably one of the bigger benefits.
It's important too, actually.
It really is. I think our department sends a lot of guys out for training, and we support it in our budget to do so, and we encourage it all the time. We're constantly sending guys all over the country, and it's just to bring, and it's not just for them, it's for them to bring stuff back and kind of show everyone else. And we get a lot of guys that go through different programs, and it's paying off in the streets for sure.
Yeah,
like the department when I started to the department today is completely different. It's a completely different department. I'm not saying anything bad about them, because that's what we knew. But over time, we've progressed from that.
Things change.
Yeah, things change. Leadership styles change, and all that stuff. And it's just now we're in the culture of let's see how good we can actually get.
Yeah.
Let's see, and not in a very humbling way. We want to be able to provide. We want to be the best for the best.
Yeah.
We want to be the best for the very best citizens that we have, and all citizens are the best. But we want to make sure that we're each and every day we're giving them everything that we have. Like we want to give them everything, because that's why we're here. We're not here for each other.
Yeah.
We are, but indirectly, but directly, we're here for the citizens
all day,
24/7.
And I think obviously there's the typical benefits that a firefighter will get when they join the team, but I want to emphasize how actually rare that is for departments to provide that training, go into conferences and outside training to really learn from different agencies across the country. Because like you said, you grab something that you learned from, let's just say Texas, and you bring it back here, and you're like, wow, they're doing this over here in Texas. Nowhere in South Carolina are they doing this. Let's start doing it, right? And it's the same thing with all departments. I mean, even for me, going into a conference, the other month I went to Nashville for a public information officer conference, and public information officers across the country were together, and I was learning from people who've gone through some of the most traumatic experiences as a PIO. They're from their start to finish and their mistakes. And that's the thing that I think most firefighters can learn when they go to those conferences. And you can correct me if I'm wrong, but learning from the mistakes that people have actually went through in their live calls, and learning them when you don't have to, outside of a live call.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I think that's so important.
We go back and the mistakes that we make, like you say we have a house fire and we know that there were some mistakes made. What we do is we'll get together as a team and then go back, and we call it an after action review, and we break down the incident and what we could have done better, so what we can improve on for the next time.
That's so good.
So any major incident, we do that, and it is very vital. And what we do is, if we see something, we very respectfully bring it up in our group, and the hardest thing for people to hear is criticism. It always has been, always will be. But to me, if you know that you made a mistake and you're the one that says, hey, I know I messed up, I made a mistake, this is what I should have done, it invites other people to do the same thing. So if someone who made a big mistake doesn't say anything, so no one, then people have and other people know that that mistake was made, they'll have a tendency to say, well, hey, why didn't you say something about, a mistake? Or then someone else will bring that person's mistake up. So it's always, whether it's a leadership position, whether you're a firefighter position, whatever, it's always good to if you go over the mistakes first, and that way it kind of levels the room a little bit. And we've noticed that, someone say, oh, I messed up, and, then I'll fix it. And it really takes the tension out of the room.
It does.
It really does. When you start to open up and get vulnerable, it really does take a lot of the weight out of the room.
I think that's another important thing for our listeners to hear is even in my young career, I'm looking at from when I started, if I made a mistake, when I started in my first role, I would be a little hesitant to step up and say, listen, that was me, because you're just starting off and you're worried that what people are going to think about you and your role. Then as you grow and as you learn and as you learn from other people, right, and have these conversations, I've learned, and what you've just reiterated, is true successful leaders within any industry, especially within public service, are able to be, yep, that was me. That was me. I'll take it to the chin, and we'll move forward from it. And I think it's important for people to understand that if you own up to that mistake that you've made, you can move forward with it. And it's that accountability. People who are more accountable to themselves strengthen a team.
Right. And also, I've noticed that it reduces a lot of disciplinary issues as well.
Yeah.
So
that's a good point.
It keeps them accountable.
Yeah.
When they do that, and you're less likely to come hard on them. It's like, okay, you obviously learned your lesson. well, it won't be as harsh this go around. So it does, because knock on wood, we don't have a bad disciplinary problem at all. And I think it's partly because of that. Guys will admit when they're wrong, and when they do so, and they fix it right away.
And it'll circle back. That comes back to the family-oriented build that the Summerville Fire and Rescue has.
Right.
And you can always open up to your family. Anyone can open up to their family.
Absolutely.
When you have that family-oriented back here, you can open up a lot easier. I think it's important. I want to wrap up on the recruitment and new firefighters. Can you provide, are we hiring right now, or are we just kind of halted? What can anyone who's interested in joining the team, where can they go, or what can they follow to just make sure they're up to date? Yeah,
so we have our Instagram and Facebook page that's out there. I don't know if I don't think we're very active on Twitter, but our Facebook, we're always announcing if we're hiring. Instagram, we're always announcing and they're hiring, and then the town always puts out, we usually put out some form of release that, the open positions in the department. So if anyone's ever interested, right now we're full. And
that's a good thing though, right?
It is a good thing. With the members that we have in the fast track, we're considered full. But there's always opportunity here. So absolutely.
And I will make sure to provide those links in our bio this episode. So everyone who's interested can go ahead and click the links in our bio for more information and to follow to make sure, if there is an opening that comes up. But that's the one thing I learned, public safety entities here in Summerville, they're full. I mean, people love working for Summerville.
They do. And now we did have some challenges coming out of COVID that, it's the great resignation.
Oh man, wasn't it?
It was really tough. It was a trying time. I've never seen anything like it. I don't want to ever go through that again, but if I happen to then I kind of know what to expect. But it was really hard. It was hard on leadership because you're watching people leave. They really don't want to leave. They're just doing it they see another opportunity and they go, or they're moving away or whatever,
or they're making money off of playing video games or making.
It's crazy.
It's true though.
It is.
And they're not putting their lives in line. They're like, I can play a video game and make some money. But that's what sets, I think, in the public safety and public service. When you have that heart for it,
you have to want to do this job.
You want. Playing video games for money is not going to be. You're not going to be happy.
It's not fulfilling. And this job is rewarding every single day if you want it to be. Mm-hmm. It really is. There's something to give back every single day, and I love it. I absolutely love it. Never wanted to work anywhere else. This is it.
I love it. And I've seen that even when I stepped in on my first day. I'm in the office. I'm not going into fires, but it's the same thing all around. Admin, public safety. It's the same thing. That family oriented. We all care about each other and want the best for our community. I want to switch gears a little bit. I want to talk a little bit more. You're still a newer chief. I mean,
I'm very new.
Very new. I want to talk a little bit about that a little bit because it's just so interesting. We had Chief Waring here for a while. And can you dig into what that transition was like for you? I know we touched a little bit on it earlier, but what were your nerves like? Were you nervous?
So I'm not one to really get all that nervous. I just kind of leave it up to chance, and I kind of trust the process. I will say, leading up to it, I was like, okay, this isn't going to be a bad gig, but once Chief Waring was officially gone, and then it's me now. It was like, things are going to get pretty serious. I will say that our first week, because Chief Ritchie started the same week I did. We started on basically the same day in both the new positions. The first week was 110 miles an hour. Like, I do not remember the first week. I know we had a recruit school graduation. I spoke at it, but
do you even remember what you said?
It really wasn't good. I will have to redeem myself because I was just like, there was just so much going on that week, and it finally started to taper off, and picking things up with, the finances and things like that, and just the legalities of stuff through town, and working with town hall and those type things. Yeah, it's a little different. I had very little experience with that before, so this is all new to me. That portion is all new to me, which is good. I welcome the challenge, and I'm learning something new every single day. So
I love that. And I know you and Chief Waring, had that same vision, worked together very well in the years that you guys worked together. But I wanted to touch base on your vision. What is your vision for Summerville Fire and Rescue, and what are some initiatives that y'all are taking towards that vision?
So one of the things, even Chief Waring mentioned it too, we want to get to where we want to be. Yes, I know we're on a national stage now. It's a little, we're still a very small department, but I want us to get to where we can host a conference here, and provide most of the instructors and cadre for the instructors and speakers from our department. I think if we were going to start small, I think we've already talked about it in the works of doing like some survival things at our training site, and we host some weekend classes and stuff like that out there, very similar. But we want to host like a big conference.
How cool would that be?
It would be cool. I have no idea how to do it. That's why I have it's
ambitious.
That's right. That's why I have like this great team that's around me. But and just to see where I love to see growth in people. I think that's another thing too, that I love to watch someone blossom from a recruit all the way up to we have some that have gone from recruit to all the way to now they're a supervisor, and watching that growth and watching them go through change over time is very rewarding. Because regardless of what position you're in, everyone kind of has a hand in that, and there's always influencers from everywhere, and you're good, bad, or indifferent. Everyone has kind of a hand in someone else's success. Yeah. And, it's like you could be a negative influence on somebody, and, you can influence their success. If that person perceives it, in a negative way, then you could, kind of hold them back. And I love to watch people just grind and get what they want out of this job. It's phenomenal to see. It's great to just kind of sit back and look at that, and it's just good to be a part of. It really is. I love it. When I was a captain, one of my probationary firefighters at the time, he's now a captain. So watching him in that role, leading his crew, is very rewarding too.
So cool.
Yeah, it really is. It's kind of, because I know that there are a few things that maybe he picked up along the way. Then when him and I were together, we were together a short time, but hopefully there's something that I did or said that he's using today as well. So
I love that.
Yeah,
and it's cool that you just see someone would come in young, ambitious, ready to go, and years later they're a captain or they're deputy chief or they're chief. And,
absolutely.
And you're like, that's just so cool to watch.
It is very cool, because like going back to the 22-year-old me that started here, I had no ambition of being a fire chief. There was just not even a thought about it. I was like, oh gosh, that looks like a very hard job, and so yeah, I mean, just looking back over the course of a career, I'm kind of in awe at how it all played out. But
and the many people have helped you get there.
Oh, so many people.
Yeah.
Without the people, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
There are people who molded me along the way, and I could list thank yous for days. It's just, either directly or indirectly, they impacted who I've become as a in the fire service. So, but yeah, it's been a great ride. It really has. Yeah,
I love it. And we know that Station 6 is it open yet, or is it?
No, it's not open. Not quite yet.
We're getting there,
but we are getting there. It's a lot closer. We have a few little things that that hiccups along the way, but It's coming. I would say first of November. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And for our listeners, can you talk about where Station 6 is at and who it's going to serve?
So it's currently the area served from the county. They have a station that's just down the road. They're going to close that station, and then its personnel are going to be distributed until they build another station in Summers Corner.
Okay.
So we have actually acquired land through the county. It's on Miles Jamison Road. It's in between the Coastal Center and the roundabout.
Yeah. Okay.
So
yeah,
it's going to be right over there on the right hand side, and we're basically going to serve the citizens that they were serving in addition to our own.
Oh, nice.
So we're going to be able to get to the lakes of Summerville a little bit faster, and some of the backside of the bridges. So it really shores up an area that we had lacking in. That now that we're going to be able to respond and provide better service to that area.
That's awesome.
So our response times will drop in that area because we have a station there. So we're excited. We're excited for it to open. And I think the county's going to be putting a medic unit out there as well, and
nice.
we'll put a future battalion chief out there too if we can get that added. So
congratulations, that's awesome.
Again, growth. Yeah. This is This was Chief Waring's last hurrah. I call it the Station 6 project, and
go out with a bang, right?
That's right. Oh yeah. So he's done a phenomenal job with that, So
now talking about future stations. Is there any future stations in vision right now? Is there just kind of you have ideas but nothing really in fruition yet?
Yeah, I think. It's hard to when you talk about growth. One of the fastest growing areas right now is Next, and things are popping up over there like crazy. I do envision a station over there sometime in the near future.
It makes sense. Yeah.
It's just that would be the next area I would look at. We obviously don't have any plans right now, but the closer we get to more development over there, the more of the demand and the need for a station over there. We do cover quite a bit of area over there, so the more we get and the further it goes away from the center of town, the need for another station. So
okay. So that next, it is growing quite a bit over there. So I can see why that would be the next spot.
Yeah, it's getting busy for sure.
And to kind of bring this train home a little bit, what is a message or anything you would like to share to the community when it comes to Summerville Fire and Rescue, how they can support us, and then also what they can look forward to?
Honestly, they can look forward to us providing an absolute amazing service. It really, that's what it comes down to. We don't ask anyone to say give us thanks. Nothing. We don't. People do thank us, and we have a very generous, very loving community. People thank us all. People thank us all the time. But we don't ask for anything in return. We're servers. We're going to give them absolutely everything we got every single day, every single call, regardless of what we may be going through, or regardless of how tired we are. That's why we're here. We're here to serve them, and we're going to do it the best of our abilities. And that's why we strive to be progressive, and we don't like complacency or mediocrity. We're trying our best to be that 1% better every single day, and that's what keeps us going. The citizens are what keep us going. The more of the demand for the citizens, for the calls that we go on and stuff, that's what drives us. It's the citizens are what drives us. We don't go on calls because it's convenient. We go on calls because there's a need, and like I said before, someone's asking prayers for us to come to them, and only we can provide that. So that's a lot of responsibility, but that's why we're here. It's every single day. Every time you step foot into these buildings or step foot on the truck, you're here for someone else. You left your family. You're not here for you. You're here to give to someone else constantly. And that's just what it is. It's what it comes down to. It's pretty simple too. If you think about it, it's like we're hired to serve people. We're hired to give everything we can to help someone, to better their day. It's someone calls us for their worst day of their life, and they're calling and they're trusting complete strangers to show up to their house and take care of their problem. Complete strangers, but we don't like to be strangers in the public. We like to get out, and so if anyone ever wants to come by our stations, they're open 24/7. Just knock on the door. If a citizen wants to come and do a ride along, we have some paperwork to fill out, and you can ride along with us for the day. We do that all the time, and as a matter of fact, we've hired quite a few ride-alongs.
Check that out.
Yeah, we've hired quite a few ride-alongs. They're like, you know what? I think I want to do this. I'm like, sure, bring it. Fill it. We got one more paper for you to fill out. Let's fill out an application. So we love the citizens, and I can't stress that enough as to why we're here. They're the only reasons why we exist.
Summerville, aren't we lucky to have such amazing public safety leaders here in the town? I think we need to just understand that. And I think it's important, and I appreciate everything that you and your men and women do for our town, because without y'all, I mean, we'd be in trouble, Right. And I had a question earlier that I wanted to ask, but it slipped my brain, but I have to ask it before I go.
Sure.
What, in all your time, your 23 years, what is your favorite moment, favorite memory that you have that it will never go away? It will never leave the head.
So it was honestly, I can't recall all of them right now, but one of the most recent ones was we promoted someone to captain, and I was able to do that for the first time as a fire chief.
Yeah.
So the way we did it this time, we actually surprised the person. They didn't know that we were coming.
Really?
It wasn't like we didn't give them a heads up or anything. We just showed up and started talking with them, much like me and you, and you just kind of pulled out the badge and say, hey, well, just want to let you know that you're getting promoted to captain today. And the look on the person's face was priceless. It was like, I was like, okay, yeah, this job is definitely worth it. Just to watch their years of hard work and everything pay off when they're given their badge, and a whole lot of responsibility along with that.
Yeah.
But this job is all about the rewards from that everyone else gets. It really is. To be able to hand someone an award for a job well done, or a promotion, or just a attaboy in the community, and it's rewarding to see that face, their job and their training and all that pay off. That's what keeps me going. I mean, that's what it's all about for me. It has nothing to do with me. I could never receive an award ever, but I will give them all away. It's just I don't do this for me. I can vouch for the chiefs in this department, all of them. They're not here for us. So we're here to whatever it takes for the men and women, whatever they need. That's why we're here. So.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. And before I turn this recording off,
sure.
Top 3 restaurants here in Summerville.
Oh, wow.
I have to say I'm sorry to our listeners, because I haven't asked our last few guests, and I've heard it. I've heard it. People are upset. I haven't asked. So you're back.
Okay, so I got to go with Bexley #1.
Bexley, nice.
Bexley, man, it's so tough.
I love this question.
I will say this: I've only had takeout there, not Bexley, but Miles and June Taqueria.
Oh yes, yes.
That place, phenomenal. I've had something from there, and oh gosh, there's so many good ones. There's the classic Oscars. There's the Ice House restaurant, which is really good. And of course Hall's, but yeah, they're all so good. Top 3 is hard. It should be top 5. If you ask my kids, by the way, it's Nukes and Kairos. Those are their They're two favorite for sure. Yeah.
Awesome.
But yeah, Bexley, that's a great date night spot for me and the wife. We've gone a couple of times, and it's just really nice. It's small, it's intimate.
Good food too.
Great food.
Good food.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Well, Chief, I appreciate your time today. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
And for our listeners, thank you so much for tuning into this episode. We're really excited to be able to finally bring Chief Melcher in. And if you have any questions or anything, feel free to send them to me, send them to the Fire and Rescue. And until next time, thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Chris.
Awesome.
Appreciate it.